All right, President Bush giving it the only speech of his Asian trip, but he did it in Singapore a short time ago, talking North Korea, talking a little bit of trade, sounding very upbeat. Joining us right now from D.C. with reaction, someone really important, Marco Vincenzio. He's the director of Global Strategy, the Global Strategy Project. Marco, what was significant about this speech, about this trip?
It's particularly important because he seizes the political initiative after what happened after the the Democratic victory in Congress last week, particularly on the issues of security and trade. It was something that he is focused on a domestic audience, particularly at the new Democratic Congress, particularly those who are more, you can say, inclined towards isolation, and particularly on the economic front, and also geared towards an international audience, saying that despite the problems in Iraq, the U.S. remains committed and engaged in other parts throughout the world, particularly in Asia.
And did you see anything, did you hear anything, new or interesting or different, or was it everything he said was pretty much what you expected, nothing, no surprises?
It's fairly consistent with the developing trend in foreign policy in recent months. Particularly, it was interesting how the venue in Singapore, a country which back in the 60s, the former British colonies, was a very undeveloped country, and 50 years later, it's an economic success story and a parliamentary democracy. So he was using the venue as an example for what other countries should be aspiring for.
That's right. And Marco, the president's also on tap to go to Vietnam, and the House was supposed to pass a trade deal where we normalize or renormalize trade with Vietnam, and it didn't happen yesterday. And it looks like they might do it in December. That's a bit of an embarrassment.
I mean, obviously, I think beyond Vietnam, it's trade at large.
Right.
Free trade deals already signed with Peru and Colombia, and it's unsure whether that's going to be approved in this current Congress, in the lame duck Congress, or it's just going to be taken off the table. So it's not only Vietnam, it's other countries, that other trade deals that are currently in the pipeline that are currently under threat.
Yeah, he said that they have more trade possibilities on the Pacific rather than the Atlantic. Is that sort of a sideswipe at the EU at all?
Not only that part of it is it, but it's mostly geared also towards the fact that China's just finished a fresh rounds of multilateral and bilateral trade deals throughout Asia and other parts of the world. So it's an attempt by the president to seize the political initiative internationally, particularly on the free trade front.
Hey, Marco, what happened yesterday with the one-on-one 90-minute conversation with Putin, and what do you expect to happen Sunday?
With Putin, a lot of it revolves around North Korea and Iran. It's just basically, it was an attempt to basically touch base again and to reaffirm where they are in common, what the differences are. But I think with Putin, there's a personal relationship between both of them. Obviously, in recent times, it hasn't been the best of time. But I would think overall, particularly on North Korea, there's a lot more agreement than Iran.
All right, Marco, we thank you very much for joining us today from the D.C. Bureau. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.